there's one really crucial metric or flag, like a red flag, but a green flag perhaps, when it comes to working with couples and which couples are going to fare well as opposed to struggle. Because every couple sooner or later will encounter the moment when we become more than just romantic partners for one another. A subconsciously written contract that we enter, whether we like it or not, when we engage in a romantic relationship is to become each other's attachment repair partners. So we take on the roles, whether it's consciously, as we uh, have come a little bit further on this path and we consciously engage in this process, or as the majority of the population engages in this completely unknowingly about the underlying processes that are at play. Either way, what we become to one another is a partner for repairing all of the childhood wounds that come from our upbringing. And this is obviously why we oftentimes end up with people that resemble to such a painful degree our parents. You might see so much of your mother in your girlfriend, so much of your father in your boyfriend, and even the opposite, the gender doesn't really play a big difference here. And as we enter this work consciously, the name of the game becomes consciously projecting and receiving and repairing. And this obviously is a series of videos that I could record on this topic. And do leave a comment if you would like me to touch on some of those things, how we can consciously engage in an attachment repair process with our partner. But what I wanted to talk about today is just what is the one indicator that I see helps couples overcome the challenges that inevitably will arise as an integral part of this process. This won't necessarily be easy. It will be challenging by its very nature since we're touching the most suppressed and painful memories that are still stored in our bodies. And that one thing is whether we are enjoying the process. If you find yourself working through these things with your partner, no matter how painful they are, and no matter how crazy you possibly drive each other in the heat of the moment, but if at the end of the day you find yourselves feeling like you connect, like you get closer to each other by doing this work, by walking the path together, that is a really good indication. Because no matter what's gonna hit you, you are in fact on some level you're enjoying teasing out what the core of the issue is. You are enjoying the process. You're not just doing this to reach a destination far into the future when you have worked through all of your stuff. You're enjoying each step of the way. And if that's you, then rest assured that this won't last a lifetime. The shadow work and shadow material is not a bottomless well. You will get through it. And the dedication and commitment that you feel towards one another right now will only deepen, and it will culminate in you getting close enough further apart from each other, even though that's how it might feel occasionally in the heat of the battle, so to speak. But if you're in it just for reaching the end goal of being this happy, joyful couple who's always at peace and um, eternally fulfilled in one another, never hurting, never being in pain, never stirring anything up, then you are signing up for a world of pain because that is, in my experience, not the reality of what intimate relationships are about. And there are ways to try to avoid that or run from it. Um, the most common way, of course, is by blaming it on the partner and then changing partners when we've had enough. When we are unable to change our partner to our liking, we move on to the next one, blind to the fact that it is not the partner, it is our own wounds that the partner is simply shining a light on. And of course, it's not for us to move somewhere to the mountains and live in a cave and meditate 10 hours a day until we have healed those wounds. Those wounds will only, in fact, heal in a relational space with a partner. We need those 10,000 glimpses to heal those wounds that we carry with us since very early years. And so, if you have found yourself a partner that can hold you through this, even if it's challenging to you to be held, and at times it might be pushing the capacity of your partner to hold you, because that can be a lot as well. What's necessary is this joint compassion and seeing one another that, yes, we are taking on this role and we're doing it with love and compassion and a lot of goodwill, but sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be vulnerable and to let oneself be held, and it can be extremely exhausting and difficult and tricky to hold the other person in exactly the right way that they need. So, really, this is just about love, understanding, and compassion, and supporting each other each step of the way. But as long as you've got those elements, and after going through a couple of tunnels like that and coming out on the other end, and you feel it's really a visceral feeling in that relational space between the two of you, that you have grown closer and stronger and more capable of holding one another moving on, then that's the green flag. That means that this will serve as fuel. The more of those things you go through, the stronger you will be, the closer and more intimate and more authentic you'll be. And you will unfold whatever needs to unfold for you to hold each other's hand as you're walking this path towards joint liberation. And oh boy, like, is there anything more beautiful than that for two people to join forces towards a common mission like that and then become beacons of love, compassion, and love for every other couple out there and all of humanity, really. So, if you're on this path and this felt encouraging, then consider sharing this video with your partner or with some other friends that are on a similar path, because I think that this is a message that is really worth sharing. And leave a comment below if this resonated with you. I would love to hear about your experience. Bye. Much love.